It's the 16th of Jan today, about 10 to 3 in the morning again. I've gone on my break. I'm working night shift again tonight. I've got 4 in a row, so 2 more after this. And yeah, just starting off here with some stretching in the middle of the road. I love being up and being awake at this time. It's probably a downside that I have to work and I have to put my body through these rigors of shift work. But definitely when you're around at sort of 2-3 o'clock in the morning and no one else is around, and you can sort of just do some stretching in the middle of the road. You're not going to worry about any cars coming down because no one's out. It's a sort of stillness and a peacefulness to the early morning when everybody else is asleep and you're awake and you're still getting after it and putting work in or getting miles in or whatever you're doing. There's something that's quite attractive to me about being up in the early hours of the morning. So yeah, look, had a good stretch. Spent a bit more time stretching than I normally would. Was not too much of a hectic night. Last night was probably a bit more hectic at work. So I had a little bit, wasn't as pressed for time as much as I was tonight, so I took my time. I've got an hour break, so took a good 15 minutes to do some stretching and some warming up, and then 20-25 minutes for the run, and then quick shower, back to work. But yeah, look, the early morning is fantastic, and I've mentioned it before, especially where I live, it's quite hot and quite humid. So when you get a chance to run when it's sort of like the coolest it's going to be all day, you sort of feel fantastic, really. Like, my times over these night shift runs are always my quickest ones. Like, if I'm running in the day, I'm normally about sort of anywhere between sort of 22 to 25 minutes for a 5k. But when I'm running sort of at this time in the morning, when it's cool, it's I'm closer to that 20-minute mark for my 5Ks. I'm definitely on the underside of 22 minutes for a 5K. So it sort of, for me, just sort of shows me what I can do when conditions suit and when everything is still and when everything is cool, as opposed to when I'm just normally running in like the middle of the day and I'm just slogging it out and I'm waiting for the heat exhaustion to get me rather than the actual miles to get me. It's more time constricted in that sense, in the middle of the day I'm just sort of waiting for the heat to get to me rather than to actually be tired for how many Ks I've run or how fast I've run. So look, yeah, I'd sort of cut this filming a little bit short today. I'll have a quick chat at the end of this video that I filmed myself chatting, just because there was a few interesting things that happened. I was sort of on my normal spot, and a couple dodgy characters were out. It's Saturday night, so you do expect a few people to be out, but I was sort of running around this quiet little suburban park set, and I just did laps around that, which is about a K a lap, so it's sort of 1K to get there, 1K to get back, and then 1K per lap. So I normally do 3 laps of that, but I only did 2, and then I sort of ran back, and then that's where you see me here, sort of just running up and down the road once I'm at work and once I'm sort of away from the main roads a little bit. I just put the GoPro down and did some more laps up the road until I got my 5K, because I did have to cut it so short. So yeah, look, it was got a lot out of it, but as you'll hear me talk about in a second, there's a couple dodgy moments and a couple scary moments. With a couple probably drunk dickheads that were a little bit too pissed for their own good. But yeah, I'm well, all is well. I'm going to go back tonight. I'm going to still run, so nothing changes from that aspect.
So I just want to address something quickly because it's not often that happens a lot. But it's about 3:30 in the morning. I'm on my break on night shift, and I was running the usual route that I usually run, and I did a couple laps, and I was getting ready to do my last lap, and then I noticed this car is sort of following me slowly. There's been a light behind me for a couple minutes now, and I've got my headphones in, so I can't really hear too much. So I put my headphone down, and I move aside. I was running on the sort of edge of the road, and I just move up onto the footpath, and these dudes, they're just yelling and screaming at me something. I'm too puffed. I'm not really listening to what they're saying. And then all I hear is just, "I'm gonna fucking bash you." And I was like, wait, what the? I was like, what did I do to these guys? I'm just running. I was like, maybe, I don't know what the fuck they're on or whatever they're on. So one of them hopped out of the car, and I was sort of in this section of a park, and the other one was sort of driving around trying to cut me off at the road. But I sort of ran through this park, and then hid behind a couple of trees and sort of doubled back and sort of zigzagged through this park to get, I don't know, probably 500, 600 meters across from them, close to the exit of this park area, so I can run down the main road and get back to work, which I did. And then probably about 5 minutes later, I'm still sort of running back to where my car is and where work is. I see them sort of hooning up the street. So I just bolted up in my ears back, and I just ducked in around the corner behind a bush and just hoped they didn't see me right out sort of the exit of work. And then they sort of just zoomed past, and I just jogged as fast as I could back to the car. And then once I was sort of near the car, I just got the GoPro out and filmed a couple more things. But that was pretty fucking scary. Maybe I have to change my route tomorrow when I run. But yeah, just wanted to record that while it's fresh in my mind. Cheers.